Hello, my name is Marquise Parker, and I am from Waterbury, Connecticut. And for the last 10 years, I have been a substitute or an assistant teacher in the Waterbury public school system. Since the start of this class, I've learned a lot about different philosophies and theories when it comes to early childhood education, but I didn't really spend any time thinking about how any of this related to me and my personal opinion on these topics. I would say my education philosophy is heavily based on my time as a student and a teacher working in an inner city public school. That experience taught me that if we truly want good educational outcomes, I think it only comes from an environment based on diversity and inclusion. I think that's the only way that we can get the outcomes that we desire. Before this class started, I didn't really know anything about the whole child framework as it pertained to early childhood education. But when I started researching it, I think it just spoke to my sensibilities as an educator very, very heavily. And I think it did mainly because that's how I've been trying to run my classrooms ever since I started teaching all those years ago. I think to people who don't teach in a classroom, the idea that a student needs to be healthy, safe, engaged, supported, and challenged is an obvious premise. But I think those who are responsible for shaping young minds know it's a little bit more complicated than that. Yes, it goes without saying that a student needs to be safe in order to do their work, but I think we don't give enough credence to the idea that there are different definitions of safe when it comes to teaching. Beyond the obvious importance of physical safety in the classroom, I think an underrated aspect of safety is that a student feels safe to explore their ideas without being shamed. Since my personal education philosophy is to view everything through a lens of diversity, I think physical safety and the safety to explore your own ideas without being shamed are two things that are of equal importance. For the section on educational theories, I decided to go in a little bit of a different direction and pick something that we did not cover in class. I didn't set out to do this, but when I started researching educational theories, I found one that spoke to my sensibilities as an educator perfectly, and I think it aligns with my personal education philosophy. The educational theory I decided to go with is called diverse pedagogy theory. This theory emphasizes that teaching should respond to diverse cultural, racial, and linguistic backgrounds in students. I mainly picked this one because it aligns with my personal education philosophy that race and identity impact learning experiences, and it guides me in creating lessons that honor each student's perspective. I don't want to just help them learn things, I want them to learn more about themselves along the way. As a Black educator from the inner city, I often did not think that my teachers had my best interest when it came to learning about my personal cultural background, and I think that hurt my education along the way. I feel that I've based my educational philosophy on the bedrock that diversity and inclusivity are the most important aspects of an education. While learning how to read and write and do math may be important, and they are, I think it's equally important that a student feels valued and included in all aspects of their education, and I think that's the only way that they'll have a well-rounded education. I believe as an educator, it's my responsibility to foster that environment. I think creating an inclusive classroom is key, so I adapt my teaching strategies to meet the needs of all learners, promoting respect, understanding for every student. My goal for each student is to feel valued, represented, and respected, as well as supported. I think this helps students build confidence and encourages active participation in learning, which I think is the primary goal. Out of all the professional organizations I could have chosen, I settled on the National Association for the Education of Young Children, or the NAEYC. I picked this organization for professional development, and it provides resources and guidance for equity and inclusion in early childhood education, which are the most important things in an organization for me. I use this organization to stay informed on best practices and continue to improve my teaching so that all students benefit from high-quality learning experiences, which I am eager to provide. As an early childhood special education professional, I uphold ethical and professional standards. I follow laws like IDEA, ADA, and the FERPA to protect students' rights and ensure fair treatment. Maintaining integrity, fairness, accountability is essential to providing every student with the education they deserve. In conclusion, my philosophy is to nurture the whole child, honor diversity, foster inclusion, and stay professionally engaged and uphold ethical standards. I am committed to using my knowledge and experience as a former student of an inner city public school to help all children grow into capable, confident, and compassionate learners. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.